What's up? Oh,
Not
oh no,
bad,
there
man.
it is. Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Awesome. Let me shut this window real quick. Actually, it's kind of loud.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, we're just gonna do like the basic 20-minute, 15, not long. We're not gonna get into the whole hour here. I just want to give you a very general, introduction reading with this video. I don't want to, overwhelm you or anything. Real quick, just give me just like a, like just age, just general diet, lifestyle kind of stuff right now where you're at.
I just turned 38 April 19th, and for the most part, I mean, I just had the basic Western diet for the longest time up until maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I've slowly been working it into just being more plant-based. The only things I have as far as meat's concerned, I just eat eggs and chicken breasts on occasion, not very often.
Cool.
I try and base it off of what we could find in nature. Like we're obviously not predators, without tools and whatnot to go hunt things. So, but I think if you found an egg on the ground, that would be fair game.
I love it. I love your logic there, man.
Yeah. And I'll send you the protocol that I follow through the email so you can get a better understanding of what I try and follow.
Yeah, no, you're good. I just, just for the sake of this video and everybody watching or whoever's going to see it, I just want to give a general kind of thing. That's perfect. It's not about labels. It's not about anything like that. We're all doing the best we can. And that's why I love iridology, because it's about clarity. It's about having clarity on, what's going on in your body so you can take action, so you can get this energy that you're after. We all want happiness, more energy, vitality. And it's, it's a common thread in all humankind. And it's just one of those things where if we can just focus our energy on that particular pathway, whether it's the GI tract, intestines, lymphatics, whatever it is, then you're just really going to speed up this healing process. So yeah, so I'm just right there with you. So cool. Yeah, let's just dive right into this. Thank you for being here, Vince. So here's your eyes, dude. Can you see it? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So a little bit about iridology. This is your right eye, okay? So everything on your right side of your body is going to show up in your right eye. We have 2 adrenal glands, 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, 2 eyes, right? So just want to say
crazy.
that.
I didn't know we had 2 adrenal glands. Okay.
Yeah, think about that. See what I mean? The body is a mirror, right? We got 2 hemispheres to the brain. You got 2 kidneys in the back. You got 2 lungs. So just like right off the bat, you see your eyes are different. You see the right and left. You see?
Yeah.
This is your left eye here, and this is your right eye. So they're similar, but they're definitely different. So I just want to say that before we begin, because as we talk about the right eye, if I say like adrenal gland or lymph system, like this is just only your right adrenal gland. See what I mean? So it could be it happens very often where the one side of the body is actually working harder than the other, depending on what's going on. So right off the bat, man, you have great genetics. That's these white kind of fibers right here. You have a beautiful blue eye. You have amazing genetics. You got great genetics from your family. This is specifically 7 generations before you. And then whatever we do in this lifetime affects the 7 generations going down. I don't know if you have kids or not, but everything you're doing now affects your kids as kids as kids, So it's just.
I've only got the one, and she's definitely non-vaxxed, and she's never had any meat whatsoever, no dairy.
Love it, dude.
Yeah, she's never been sick. She's been sick maybe 3 days out of the 2.5 years she's been alive.
See what I'm saying, man? That's our potential right there. It's crazy how we're just living in this toxic world. It's so unnecessary. So great genetics, really good. And that's based on these fibers here. So these lines are nice and straight, okay? A lot of people that I look at, what happens is over time when our DNA and our, the toxicity, those fibers literally get loose and all wavy. So you have really nice fibers, okay? The next thing, I'm just going to show you this map. How the eye works is there's this little, the pupil in the center, and then this is the colon kind of stomach area. You don't have to understand this whole thing, but just think about it like this. This is the head on the top, and this is like the feet on the bottom, and then the center of the body is right here, like the stomach and everything in the middle, okay? So the first thing that comes to my attention is this ring right here. You see this?
Right.
So, and you see how it's not like a perfect circle. It's kind of got this waviness to it, and it's just wavy like that. So that's literally the colon, transverse colon right here, and ascending colon. So that just tells me that your colon is not in the shape that it should be in. So this is just the, you know, over time from the toxicity and things, just things get out of alignment. So specifically, what we're seeing with this discoloration is sulfur, okay? So this beautiful blue eye in the background. I use the analogy of clouds, right? You have this amazing blue eye, the blue sky is shining bright, and then you have these clouds that are kind of, you know, distorting or, you know, making your reality distorted in some way because of this toxicity. So it's
I agree with that. Yeah.
yeah. See, and you know, feel free to, you know, say questions or anything as I'm talking too. So the orange is the sulfur, the combination. Now, where it is in the body is mostly in the head. See, in the upper part. See this color?
And I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, compared
Definitely.
to down here. So this is the toxicity in your brain and like the higher lymph system, like the neck up. Okay, all up in
It's gotten a
here.
little better. Right. I was on painkillers for 8 years, really, really heavy use.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that's what a lot of it.
What was was it an injury or trauma? What made you get on?
Yeah, I've had lower back pain since I was 12 years old, and they try to tell me it was degenerative disc disease and arthritis and slip discs.
Yeah.
I lived my whole life thinking I've been injured, and then once I started these protocols, man, my back pain has gone away by 80% at
Yeah.
least.
Thank you, man. I love hearing that, man, because
Yeah,
that slight empowerment right there is all it takes, and then boom, you got a new life. So that's
yeah.
awesome to hear, seriously. And I can tell it's stagnation. So the good news too with your eyes, man, is you have no drug deposits or antibiotics, no heavy. That's the like as far as severity, you know, and what's going
Right.
on. You don't have like they would show up as like black dots, okay? And
Yeah,
you don't.
I've yeah.
Yeah, you don't have any of those. So that's really, really good. So I like to just talk about it from like, you know, in the beginning, like the most severe thing, and then we'll just go into the gradual, right? So the most severe is definitely this lymphatic stagnation in the top, in the head up here. So we can get more specific and call this up like see eye, nose, like everything basically in the upper neck, shoulder, like it's this whole kind of top region, which kind of starts in your pituitary gland. And that's the master gland in the brain that basically regulates everything between the hemispheres. So that makes a lot of sense based on the, you know, the opioid use and things, because what that it fogs our mind. You know what I mean? It just,
Big
yeah,
time.
it fogs everything up. So you're already off of those. You already, you know,
Yeah.
you already know the solution to that. So what this is just going to take some time and speeding up the lymphatic system through the sweating, urinating, you know, getting these detox pathways through the breath, meditation. We need some conscious breathing to be able to, you know, get this out of the body. So the good news is like it's working. Like your lymphatic, everything's working. Everything's operational. I look at this, you know, I look at iridology in the sense of how effective are your body and the organ systems at doing what they're supposed to do, right? And it's just something where I can tell you're working, your body's working. We just got a little bit of stagnation up in the head, and the only thing, these are called lacunas, like deep. They're not that deep, but right here, it's your bronchioles, so it's the lungs right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to smoke too. Every time I would take the painkillers, I would smoke a lot. And
yeah,
from what I've been actually I took a picture of my eye probably shoot like 5 years ago. Everything was so much worse, man. Like those my holes were a lot bigger. It seems like they've been in remission maybe. I don't know if you could tell or not. Like
I
if
would
they
love to see those. I would love to see if you
oh
still have those. I would love to
I'm gonna
see it
try
just to kind of compare.
I'm gonna look for them.
Yeah, that's good. That's basically the best thing you can do is just keep taking pictures of your eyes, because that's what's going to bring more clarity on what you need to do.
Yeah.
Broncos, lungs. So yeah, you know, I mean, obviously smoking is bad. You know that. It's one of those things that I totally get it, and it's especially with the painkillers, the opiate. It's such a combo, man. I totally
God.
understand.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where the body, we just want to feel good, you know, and I understand it's one of those things where we just feel so bad that anything is going to make you feel good and you just do it, you know. I totally understand that. So the good news is you're in the light, you know. I can tell from your eyes, like you see the light and it's very vibrant, so it's only a matter of time. So the other thing I want to mention too, you see the different colors of the lymph system here. You see how it's kind of discolored up, like a darker color up here,
Yeah.
and it's kind of lighter in here, right? So that means the
Yeah.
lymphatic system is stagnant more in the head, but it's still stagnant up in here. And then there's like almost no stagnancy right here, this little glimpse right in here. So let's just call this up real quick. So this is the back thing that you were talking about right here in the back, almost your entire back, but it looks like the lower to middle is the most that's affected right in
Right.
there.
Us,
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
That's
So I mean, for me, I would recommend yoga, just movement, some sort of movement. Obviously, yeah, your job is good for that too, but basically, sitting, anything stagnant is just going to perpetuate this. So getting more, energy in this part of the body to target this is what's going to create that solution for you. And that's honestly, that's the most severe things. This stagnant lymph system in the head, the cloudiness is like number one. Number two would be your back. And then number three is your lungs right over here, the bronchioles. Yeah.
I was
So
told that I did have like congestion, I'm still
yeah,
working on and all that.
exactly. So the best thing for that is sage, eucalyptus, herbs. Get get in, your bedtime routine, or especially if you have a sauna or a hot bath, just really getting the penetration in your lungs with these herbs like eucalyptus and sage, because the herbs is what's going to help break that up really quickly so your body can get it out. It's just kind of stagnant sitting in your body right now. We need to get it outside of your body. And that's why naturally we cough and, do these things to expel these toxins. So I just look at it like we just have to speed that process up, and you're going to be able to feel that clarity in no time. The only thing else that I can kind of see, anything going on in your ribs? Have you ever had any rib, like maybe trauma, or it could be your lungs, like just the fact that your lungs are inflamed and putting pressure on the ribs? That's what it could,
I
because
think
it's
I think you're right about that. Yeah, because I've never had any injuries, and there were times where like, yeah, man, my diaphragm just felt a little weird.
tight,
Um,
tight and
yeah,
heavy. Okay.
very, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that makes sense based on the bronchial and the lungs, because obviously the ribs are protecting everything there, and when the chronic inflammation from the lung, it's just going to put pressure on your entire cage area, and that's just this little speck here. But just so you know, like I said, the most important part is this discoloration, because the lymphatic system is definitely working hard down here, but not nearly as hard as it is up top. So you need to drain the lymph out of your head and neck big time. Yeah.
Okay. And the herbs that I usually take them for about a month and then just kind of maintain. And then of course, when I run low on funds, I don't take them, but I take Mullein,
Yeah.
Cascara Sagrada. My stomach was really, really acidic at one point,
Yeah.
and it was really dark in that area. So
Mhm.
I took Mullein, Cascara Sagrada, Echinacea with golden seal, and garlic with parsley, the four herbs that I mainly took. And I took kelp and alfalfa as well, because those are more like a multivitamin.
Yeah, I look at that. Yeah, it's more like a mineral. Basically, the more mineral
Yeah.
we need minerals from an outside source. Enzymes and everything is wonderful. The pancreas can produce enzymes, but we need minerals from the outside source. So those green powders, the spirulina, the chlorella, everything that you're talking about there, yes, will help just bring more fortification into your body to help target these things. The minerals are like the building blocks that we need in order to target this issue here.
All right. And then I was going to tell you how I got off of the opiates was from Kratom. I'm actually a Kratom
Oh,
dealer.
yeah.
And
Cool. Cool.
man, it has worked amazing. That's the only thing that was ever, because I wasn't just taking the painkillers, I was abusing them pretty hard, and I wasn't working. And I'm trying to put back the pieces that, I've really done a lot of damage over the course of the last 6, 7 years with
You're
this.
doing it, brother. You're doing it. I can tell. It's great because the good
Yeah,
news is you've been through the dark and now you're through the light. You see what I mean? So
yeah.
you're
Because
already on that reverse side of it, which is awesome.
I quit drinking milk probably around 8 years ago.
Heck,
I've stopped eating pork 2 years ago. Red meat probably about a year. It's been a year.
yeah.
So like I said, I'll have chicken breast just for the fact that, I mean, it's just one of those things I'm used to eating, and
Yeah.
it helps with the hunger. And there's no veins that run through the breast of the chicken. So I was told that the blood of every animal is what's really acidic.
It's true. It's the blood and the lymph. I mean, any meat is
Yeah.
going to be acidic. I just think basic chemistry, So if, as
Yeah,
the
I still agree it is acidic too. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's like for what you're trying to do here, the body cannot work in that acidic zone. So it's like even, it could go alkaline 1 minute and then boom, just from one meal, you're right back into that 4 or 5
Yeah.
pH. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
this is a daily practice, man. It's seriously every single day is incremental.
I think what helped out a lot too when I would be taking the painkillers, I would always be super hydrated, man. I had something in my hand every second of the day because I think my kidneys and liver would be a lot more tore up than they are if I didn't do that.
Oh yes, 100%. Yes, that's the most common thing that I see is adrenal and kidney weakness. So yes, you're 100%.
Because does it look a little dark in my kidney area? Like it's kind of
Yeah.
covering.
Yeah, totally. So we're gonna jump over to your left eye. So this was your right eye, and your left eye is definitely more like severe in the sense of the discoloration on the top and on the bottom. So you have that same, orange thick lymph in the head, but there's even more going on in the bottom in the sense of your lower part of your body, like the spleen, looks like the pelvis, like anything in your hip, groin area. So this is again.
Definitely my left hip. Yes, it doesn't bother me all the time, but it will for a couple hours sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's probably some like scar tissue, cartilage, some sort of block there that could have been like from a child thing, like trauma, or it could have
That's
been.
been forever. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's why I like the
Oh,
left and
sorry.
no, you're good. You're totally good. The left and right. I'm just reminding you that this is a left eye, which is different than the
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I'm just so excited to talk to you, man. Like I'm a big fan, and this is pretty cool. I'm starstruck at this point.
This is awesome. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to make just vague videos because you need this information, and we're helping people in the same time, so it's a win-win.
Definitely.
Okay, so this is cool too because with this eye I can see so much more in the sense of this beautiful blue eye is right here, and then those you have more clouds in this eye, in your left eye, than you do the right. So see these clouds that I'm talking about here?
Right.
Yeah, it's like this is right here, your beautiful blue eye, like really looks great. And then you got these more clouds, more clouds right in here, and then the dark kind of heavy rain clouds on top, say.
I feel that, man. Sometimes I just get in those moods where I don't know I can't think straight. Like I'm cloudy, like you said.
Yeah,
Very cloudy.
that's the mental fog. That is, I mean, it's
Yeah.
so common, man, and that's what really inhibits us from the neurons firing. We should be firing all the time, and you can tell what's happening in the brain. And it all just comes back to lymph because that lymph system is what's removing the waste. So if we can just speed that up, with your breathing practices, the skin, you have not a bad skin ring, but it's there. That's this ring on the outside here.
I got acne on my back. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we sweat.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Get in the bath, get in the sauna, get wherever you need to do to literally sweat and speed up that pathway because that's going to help drain the lymph out of your head too. You need to just remove it, right? Get it out.
It's summertime.
Oh yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up, baby. The next thing, okay, so back to the same thing we talked about with your first eye with this circle and the waves, right? And you see how the wave like starts here in the small and then turns orange automatically. You see what I'm talking about right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens is everything kind of starts in the center because of gravity, right? We have this 40-foot GI tract and then things get stuck here and then we have to go trace it back. So the good news, it makes a lot of sense, but the good news is these lacunas, this is your darkest one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right here. Let's check it out. It looks like I think it's either your kidney. Oh, it's right next to the rectum, though. How about kidneys? Oh, you mentioned smoking. How about like drinking or any alcohol or anything? I'm just curious in the past or any like heavy use, or was it more like smoking with the opiates?
Mainly smoking with the opiates. As far as drinking goes, I got a DUI back in 2008, and I really haven't been drinking since then.
Good.
I wasn't a heavy drinker. I would consider it heavy drinking. When I'd say early 2000s, I might go to the bar every weekend with a few friends.
Yeah.
and it was never, I don't know, I tried to drink recently, actually. I just can't, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's
So
because
on average, yeah, I probably seriously 10 times in the last like 6 years, to be honest.
yeah,
Like,
it's the body awareness. That's the thing. The intelligence of the body is so smart, and it will override this mental programming that we think we need to do. This vibrancy that comes from the body is bar none compared to whatever addiction or thing that we think we need in our head. So I just
okay,
want to bring that up because that just looks like the darkest one. And then this little spot right here is also the second, and that's your bronchioles. So that's just mirroring your lungs that we did in the other picture. So from this one, I would say that it's definitely your left lung that's like just doing more work on that side. So it's just probably got a little bit more stagnant lymph than the other lung. That's all.
okay, cool.
Great fibers, same thing, great fibers. It's just the sulfur and the stagnation is definitely more in the upper head. And the only thing that I want to mention too is you see this map here, and when I take it off of your eye, you can see how like your pupil is like over here and it's not in the center. You see that?
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not bad. It's not like bad or good. I'm just saying what it is. It's basically you got to just think alignment on how the body should be in the sense of like here I can even show you with the sense of just
Makes
pull
a
up
lot
a cool picture of the intestines real quick just to give you a visual. Intestines, images. Like this is a good picture because this is not the shape that your colon and intestines are in right now because of what's going on with this part of your eye in particular. See that wave that we were talking about
of,
earlier? Yeah,
yeah.
it's very wavy. And when you look at the map like this, it should be nice and circular, really
So it
nice
should,
and circular.
it should come back then if I'm just, keep on it.
Keep on it, but this is okay. So I look at this in stages in the sense of like in the morning, we're hydrating, we're juicing, we're trying to target those mucoid plaque and any toxins. But what's happened is the answer to getting this fiber back straight in alignment and getting these intestines back to this shape is fiber. That's the simple answer is fiber. So
Okay.
salads, lots of vegetables, and it's nothing particular. It's just your favorite vegetable, your favorite fruits, your favorite things to consume. Well, because what happens is these walls here, and like especially the valves, the corners here and the valves, they just collapse because they're not getting enough fiber through it. See what I mean? And that's from starches and wheat, but we don't have to get into your exact diet right now. I'm just saying those are what I call the trigger foods that start to create these problems over time. And then we need to bring the fiber. That's the only thing that will help. It's very thin. The intestinal lining is extremely thin and it inflates like a balloon. So when the fiber gets back in there, it will definitely create the perfect shape that your colon and intestine should be in.
Okay. That makes sense. I know it's hard to put down the carbs, man, when you're not eating that much meat.
Yeah, I
That's what
hate that.
always happens. Yeah, yeah, the least amount of meat that I eat, then I try and find, something to replace it with. And
It makes
I
a lot of sense because what the meat is doing is it's not a lot of food and it's filling you up. So that's what's compromising your intestines. See what I
yeah,
mean? Whereas if you
right.
eat a lot of vegetables, it's filling you up like physically, it's a lot of volume and you're getting satiated. Right now, you're getting satiated, but you're not like literally filling your entire, stomach.
Yeah. Right,
And
right.
over time, when that sits and rots, it creates putric acid, and the acid is what's breaking down the parts of that we're talking about. Like I said, it's literally just a hair thin. So just even one serving of meat will start to break this down. But the good news is you have great genetic. Like the reason why you're doing it is because you can handle it. You know what I mean? Like someone like myself. I'm very sensitive to it, and most people, it's what I call the toxic load, right? You don't have that big of a toxic load, therefore you can actually feel this. Trying to see, that's it. I mean, I think that's your 1, 2, 3, man. That's definitely your 1, 2, 3. So we got the
Nice.
stagnant head, the lymph, the two, and then, I mean that's great. Honestly, I mean, like I said, I'm used to seeing really big drug deposits and antibiotics and all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. I've never taken antibiotics, man. Like I think one time when I was 15, I
you're
snapped
so
my
lucky.
arm.
You're so lucky, dude. Seriously, very lucky. So yeah, man, the biggest, that's it. That's your 1, 2, 3. The 1 is the head, the 2 is the lungs, the 3 would be just your overall like GI tract, like this that we're talking about here, because the fibers look really good. And I could go, deeper into these smaller lacunas, like your bladder right there. There's a tiny, you see that tiny little one right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we could do this all day, you know what I mean? But I just want to give you the 20-minute real quick, as much information as we can in 20 minutes, because this is really going to help target what you're doing and just speeding up those 4 pathways and incorporating it into that 24-hour day, because there's only 24 hours. It's like we got to get the most out of it.
Right. It's funny, man. I don't know if she's a follower of yours, but her screen name on Instagram is Mending with Meat, and she said she was vegan and plant-based for the last 5 years, and she sent me a picture of her eye. She's just got lacuna central, like it looked like a malnourished eye, I think.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's crazy, like she wasn't incorporating something in there, or I don't know.
Well, when it's reached lacunas, that's literally like digging. I would call this a lacuna, but it's not deep. It's not like some people use the word lesion as well, and that's when literally it's like digging into you, and that's not happening in your eye. And I'm just saying that because this is like, that takes years. That doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? That's like years of acidosis and years of accumulation. So, I mean, the good news with all of that is you can reverse it just as, you can do it overnight, start reversing the damage. But the problem is this is accumulation, right? And that's why I don't think people really understand how long it takes to get that toxic.
Yeah, I try to explain that to my fiance because, she would tell me she ate great at work and everything, but I saw what she ate when she got home. It was like fast food every night. I'm like, that doesn't, just once a week is bad enough. You can't do that every night. Like,
I know.
her stomach
Yeah,
dark.
I don't do the cheat days, man. I don't do the cheat days. I don't believe in that stuff. I mean, I believe in, if you have to, it's more of an inner child thing. Like if you feel that emotion, like you need that cheeseburger or whatever it is, then just do it. But that's different than like a once in a week cheat day that's like organized and I just don't believe in that modality,
Right, right.
Well, cool, brother. This has been fun, man. I think we're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can leave it at that. Let me stop recording here.